Hi, Marilyn O'Malley here of MarilynO'Malley.com, and today's blog is on how to stop thinking and to start feeling. So, why is this important? Because when you're not feeling, you're missing out on feeling fulfilled and living a meaningful life. So we have been taught to believe that thinking is more important and more valuable than feeling. And with research through heart math and looking at all the stress and the different things that are happening to our body and how our mind affects our body, and learning so much more about the brain, we know that that is no longer true, that it's really important for us to feel. And so, and the more that we feel, the more information we get. So I work with a lot of really brilliant, smart people, and they are also highly sensitive, meaning that they have this ability to tune in to the energies that are around them and be affected by them in ways that others might not be affected by them. Picking up on a lot of subtleties. There's a lot of subtleties that go on. And there's a lot of empathy, a lot of big-hearted people. And what happens for us highly sensitives when we were young was that our systems felt overwhelmed with feeling everybody else's feelings around us. And then on top of that, because we're in a society that values thinking more than the feelings, we were looked at as being oversensitive. We were looked at as maybe even being weak, or we determined that we were weak because we could not be strong and not influenced by our environment as much as other people were. And feeling also just having all those rushes of feelings, like not feeling in control. And so we started imagining who we were from what it was that we were feeling that we didn't necessarily want to feel, whether that was the other people around them and picking up on their angst and their stress and or their depression or whatever feelings, just taking it all in and not feeling like us, right? Or it's feeling things about ourselves that we didn't want to feel, that feeling vulnerable, and that feeling vulnerable didn't feel good because and I'll get into that a little bit later, but just wanting to share, how does this come about that we turn ourselves from feeling human beings into thinking about our feelings rather than feeling them. And we shut this down in order to protect ourselves, in order to feel more in control, or feel safer, and not feel overwhelmed. But it really isn't helping us, and that's an illusion. And so what do we end up doing? We end up self-medicating or doing things to avoid feeling that way. We become perfectionists. We become knowledgeable achievers in order to, put out there into the world what we think we know versus what we're really feeling. So we're hiding behind our mind, behind our thinking. So, and when we don't feel, we end up numbing ourselves out. And so when we don't want to feel our pain, it also keeps us from feeling joy, happiness, our creativity, love. It numbs everything. And so we end up having an intellect about those things, but not really being able to experience them. And we also, because we're resisting them, and we're resisting feeling that what Brene Brown calls that vulnerability, right? Feeling so exposed, and not wanting to feel any blame or shame or judgment from others. So we'll create this numbing out, or we'll go to our thinking mind and rationalize everything, and use our mind around it versus actually feeling it. And so the reason it's important to start feeling is so that you can start processing those emotions, which are energy in motion, so that you're not stuffing them in your body, which causes depression, which causes anxiety, which causes stress, which is causing you to not operate in the present moment, right here and now, keeps you from being creative, keeps you from having that highly intuitive self that you already are. It's making things fuzzy, so you can't make good decisions, so you're not trusting yourself and you're not trusting others. Let's see, I'm using some notes here. So it basically dulls everything in our life, so you can't feel fulfilled or have a meaningful life, because you're not dealing with the emotions. You're just dealing with thinking about it. And that's why a lot of times when you arrive at where you're at, accomplishing something that you've really wanted to, but you don't allow yourself to feel along the way, and also celebrate and feel at the end of it. So it just, things start to feel meaningless. It's like you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. It feels robotic, or you're that hamster on the wheel, and you can't get out of where you're at, because basically you're living in the future. You're trying to protect yourself, trying to do things that will help you not feel, and process. And here's why, another reason why it's so important is because your mind is very limited. Your mind can only know what it knows. It knows from past experiences, or knows from you reading knowledge that you've gathered. It doesn't know anything about possibilities. It doesn't know the future, but it pretends to. It pretends to know that, like, from our past experience, this is what we know will happen. And that's very limiting, again. So let me just check in here for a minute. So feeling is, oh, I know what I wanted to say. Some of the, heart math, you can check out heartmath.org, and they really share a lot of information on the science of the heart and feelings and emotions. And, they say the heart energy is actually like 3 feet, at least they can pick up the energy of at least 3 feet around you in all directions. And that the heart energy has more electromagnetic charge, like 100 times more than the brain does. And so there's all this information that you're missing because you're in your head thinking. So how do we switch from our thinking mind into our feeling? So this is the big question I get, and understand this will take practice, and it will take persistence on your part, and becoming more conscious. So the first part is, number one, to realize that you have been conditioned to think that your mind is more important than your feelings. And that's not true. So you really have to wrap your mind around that and see that, again, how limiting it is to just be thinking about things rather than feeling them. And then the second step would be to clear your energy, because as highly sensitives and empaths, we're picking up, and particularly if we've not learned how to have boundaries, we are picking up on energy around us all the time. So a lot of times when I work with my clients, one of the things is getting them back so that they know what they feel like without other people's influencing their energy. So one is to clear your energy, and I do have a video that you can go see on YouTube that is, I believe, how to clear other people's energy. And but I'm going to give you a brief thing here about what to do is, you know, to, and do this multiple times a day. Just one of the ways is just say, anybody's energy that's not mine, go back to your owners. And when you, and the reason for this is when you get into your own energy, then you can manage that much more easily, and you won't be so influenced by the other people's energy around you. And think of it as building your foundation. So it's like you'll be able to handle your emotions, but it's too much to handle everybody else's emotions and your emotions on top of that. So once we build your foundation, you get clear what your energy is, and you clear away all those other people's energy that you've been picking up on, your spouse, your children, people you work with, your best friends, your parents, even though you don't live with them. You pick up on their energy when you go out in airplanes, in your office. You know, there's all sorts of stuff. If you don't know how to manage your energy, that's really important, because you can't manage energy that isn't yours. So a lot of times people are frustrated who are empaths, that they, you know, I feel this way, and I keep saying positive affirmations, and I'm doing this, you know, work, and it's not helping. It's not going away. It's most likely it's not going away because it's not yours. So if you give it back, then you won't have to deal with it, and then you can process and deal with your own emotions. So the third step is, in the beginning here, is for you to just really notice what emotions are coming up for you. To just throughout the day, just saying, oh, I'm angry, or I'm sad, or I'm frustrated, and just acknowledging what's coming up. You don't have to do anything about it, but just acknowledging and honoring. Oh, that's what that feels like. That's what I'm feeling. And so you can start to see what you're shoving down and repressing, and just notice and name what comes up, and what the feelings are. And it, right now too, it doesn't matter whether it matches the incident or not. We just want to acknowledge that you do have feelings, you do have emotions, and that just by noticing them doesn't make you vulnerable. You know, doesn't make you, what do I want to say? That you're safe, that you can feel, and just, I guess one of the things that I say to my clients is, you are not your feelings. So just notice your feelings as the observer of them. Oh, there's anger. Oh, there's frustration. I'm sad. Wow, I'm happy. Or I'm really moved. Or I'm raging about this. This really makes me angry. Or that feels unfair. That feels so unfair. So, or I feel satisfied, right? I feel happy that I completed something. So again, just starting to become aware of your emotions throughout the day. And then I want you to, like, you can set a timer throughout the day too, to just check in with, how am I feeling? Like before you eat, how am I feeling? When you wake up in the morning, how am I feeling? If you're a highly sensitive, chances are that you've picked up energy from, not chances are, they are, that you picked up energy if you have a partner or a husband or a wife, and your kids, you picked up energy from them. So before you even get out of bed, just clear your energy. Whatever energy is not mine, go back to your owner. I pick things up that are happening in the world. So when I wake up in the morning, I just give all that energy back so that I'm starting from who I am. So just throughout the day, picking times for yourself to just check in and become more conscious. What am I feeling right now? And then number 5 is to honor those feelings. Just to honor, because that's like you, just the honoring you. Like, I have feelings. And because I'm having these feelings, I honor that they're showing up. And then 6, when you practice this, when you make or have to make a decision, what you want to do is feel into it. Again, clear everybody else's energy. And you want to feel in, how does this feel to me? If I were to take this job, or get in this relationship, commit to this relationship with this person, does that feel expansive? Does it feel contracting? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel terrifying? Just like, and I'm using some extremes there, but check into how you're feeling, because your feelings allow you to have more information than you can have thinking about it. Because a lot of times your thoughts or your reactions are just habits. And so the feeling is giving you new information. And so intuitive information, like a lot of times I hear so many times from my clients that, like, I had a red flag, my heart constricted when I met this guy, but I kept talking myself out of it, thinking he's the only one. Nobody else will love me, or there's something wrong with me, right? There's just all these things that started going through their heads to talk them out of using the information that they felt long before anything went to their brain. And so this is a start. This is a beginning. There's a lot to this, but once you start learning to feel and see how you're showing up emotionally, what those things that triggering you, or what information's coming in, and then also realizing that your energy is putting out information. So what is the energy you're putting out that's attracting things that you want or don't want into your life that you can change, right? So this is why it's important to learn how to feel and not be thinking about your feelings. So I hope this was helpful. And if you want more information, give me a call for a discovery session. I give a complimentary 60-minute discovery session, and I can help you even more. There's a lot more that we can do around clearing energy, a lot more about how you can manage your energy, and so much more information about you learning to trust yourself and putting yourself out there, even though it feels vulnerable, and honoring that, and honoring who you are. Take care. To your living a turned on life and knowing you are a beautiful, brilliant, and juicy mess. And that's what makes you so attractive. Take care. Till next time. Bye.